Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing well. We might get interrupted, but that's okay. We'll just work through it like we do sometimes. I'm watching, it's called Nothingness and Mental Health. It's with Professor Sam. He's got a German name. Forgive me, I'm not gonna try and adventure it. But he's talking about it's an older video, let's see, a month ago. Gut healing, where mental illness originates. I think that really does have a lot to do with it. But the interesting thing for me is he's talking on the micro level, like I do a lot with uh, bacterium playing a role, and even like how you can, like I've made the joke, like, don't breathe the same air as me. It's not a joke, that you can actually be in close proximity with somebody and inhale their essence, let alone sleeping with them or sharing um, intimate situations with people. That's when I said things like their DNA rubs off on you, and I'm not kidding. And there are studies to prove that, scientifically sound stuff, um, you know. And yeah, it is a spiritual war, and the mind and body are just two parts of what the outcome is. The outcome is the spiritual and the person that we become. Um, for whatever reasons, whether it's self-inflicted. A lot of people really do love who they are and they're fully aware of what they're doing and wouldn't want to change a thing. And there are people that, I mean, I'll just say it like it is here. Like if they're going to mix feces and blood and ingest something like that, than with their witchcraft, like in that area, or if it's germs put upon you or whatever, they're fully aware of what they're doing. That's all I'm going to say. But I will share that. Uh, I'll put it over in my community. Um, it's gut healing, where mental illness originates, is the name of it. It's super interesting. I think you'll learn a lot from it, and it'll really go along with the things I've been saying in a lot of ways. So, yeah, it's a big deal. So, geez, what else was I thinking today? I'm not sure yet. Just a minute. I'll light a cigarette. Very warm out. I don't have my air on today, but I do have the fan going if you hear a little bit of noise. It shouldn't be too bad, though. But we might have the water come on, the pump come on, but um, I'll just make some goofy faces at you or something until we work through that. Maybe. I don't know. So, cheers, everybody. How many of you out there have been emotionally neglected, if not physically, but emotionally neglected from, could be anybody that anybody you desire in your life to be closer to, that you just can't seem to get any validation out of them. There's no um like emotional support. There's like a vagueness to their essence. Like they're just like they're not good at reading people unless it benefits them, it seems. Um, but I think you know where I'm going with that. You know, it's just like, yeah, I listen to a lot of doctors and a lot of mental health professionals and that type of thing because they're, if not really trying to help other people, they thoroughly examine themselves along the way too. And that's a good thing. We all learn from each other like that, you know. So you know, that's kind of one of my things is not looking at what people are doing, but why, you know, why. Why would they want to? Why wouldn't they? You know, those types of questions. Like if you have a perfect opportunity to say, like, praise your child or something, um, like they just built a Lego thing and showed it to you, or some artwork or whatever, why wouldn't you? You know, or the same with a spouse, they do something wonderful and it isn't acknowledged. It's like, why wouldn't they? What is stopping them? Is it okay? Here's what got me thinking on this was the dysfunctional whole family unit of a thing. Could you imagine a whole family, but especially evolving around like the female, and they're basically narcissistic. So everything you do within that family unit has to cater around that woman, and there's in no way that she thinks that she's going to be lesser than if she were to give like praise to her daughter or whatever. And I've seen it a lot where the female mothers in the family will prefer their son over to her beautiful daughters that have excelled beyond most people on the planet, and it doesn't seem to make a difference to this person. It's like because of the jealousy, because she really feels like her light is going to be diminished if she shines a little bit of it on the person that she raised, you know. And that goes for men too. I mean, I was married to somebody that would not praise his sons. If he did, it was fake. And I saw it. I saw it with my own eyes. It just was absent, you know. They could have got a, say, like a B on a test or something, but how come you didn't get a A? That type of attitude. Not, wow, B, that's pretty great, you know. Hey, I would be curious as a parent. I'd say B's great. Do you know what you missed to make it a B? Would be my question as a concerned parent, but I wouldn't say it right away. I'd talk about that later, maybe even the next day. Let the kid hang on to that. Geez, if you're getting anything besides a incomplete, a failing, or a D, you know, just barely passing, you know, which I did some of my years when I had my tonsils out and I pulled my stomach muscles and ligaments and gymnastic and um, which I fully recovered from. But I mean, just during this few years in particular, I really struggled with my um, schoolwork. Besides having dyslexia at the onset of school, you know, that was difficult. but I finally learned a mechanism on my own because it wasn't recognized when I was a little kid. The first time it was actually recognized, besides me, I knew I had it, was in my doctor's office, and we were talking, and because I was a blackjack dealer at the time, and at nights, a lot of times, if I had like I have work overload is what it was, and I found under stress a lot of times, then it isn't that my mixture of numbers came back or anything that like that, not the full onslaught or jumbling of words, because I have a technique that taught me different, even though sometimes I do see words in the middle of words that, um, oddly enough, will give me the concept of a word a lot of times. But that's another story. But anyway, that's a whole nother language. But when I got tired, I found out even with you, you don't have dyslexia, but if you get tired enough, you may jumble like somebody gives you a phone number and you'll instead of like 36, you'll see 63 or whatever. You might have certain numbers that are harder for you to get than other ones, and especially when you're tired, or you'll misenunciate words when you're tired. So we all have these mental hindrances that they would deem as illnesses that I think, for instance, that head trauma and actual all kinds of beatings um, hindered my learning abilities, not physically so much as, and not even always emotionally, academically, you know. So I think this was intentional. I can't prove it. Um, Eventually, all the techniques that the Masons use, it's a Masonic system based on our biology, that all these things will be able to be written down in a text, like the Masonic weapons used, implemented on people. That's my topic today, too, is the implementation of not having an emotional support group towards the people that have God in their hearts. This is an intentional thing, and I'll guarantee you will not, unless it's like 90% fake. This is my opinion. You're not going to be going into a church with a group of people, even though they proclaim themselves to be Christian, and find any kind of emotional support. That's my observation of the fakeness of it all and where we really stand as human beings on this world. Um the validation that we would give each other in life as human beings is really a absent thing, and it's getting worse every day. That's really my topic, is the emptiness of people. Like you could tell them, something bad happens, and you could tell them that, and they just kind of would look at you with a blank stare and then go on talking about what they were talking about, never acknowledging that who you thought was your friend or close one, you said something to, and they just sort of like brushed it off like it wasn't really even anything, you know. That's or uh come back and tell you how they had something similar happen, which is it's sort of a common thing to do, like, yeah, man, I've been through something like that too. Yeah, that's common, but is it appropriate? you know? Sometimes I believe that we don't need to bring our personal thoughts in when somebody else is telling us about their um, heartaches or sorrows or whatever the case may be. You know, if it were like a joking situation and I told you a joke and then you one up me, and or if it was sarcasm and you came back at me with the equal amount or better, that's a little different. That's on the jokey side of things, and that's pretty acceptable. But in conversations, the shallowness, I guess what it really boils down is the shallowness of conversations within people, you know, unless it's something that they're passionate about or you have that in common with them. But to really meet somebody that can talk about just about anything on that same level as you, I've found that really a hard thing to deal with in life. So when I find a doctor that's correlating the the physical and the mental becoming the physical and the physical becoming the mental type of thing, like I've been saying, if you hurt yourself, you may become crabby. If you're crabby, that's going to eat away at your physical. It goes hand in hand. The spiritual equalizer is the Christ spirit. That's a fact. That's having God in our hearts. He will guide us, like what to eat, what to say. You know, I don't feel insulted that I want to take that gentle guidance. I don't always listen, but I try when it comes to my food, and I listen when it's ethical, yeah, and values and the commandments and those types of things, you know. But yeah, if there's a time I know I don't need any candy and God will whisper, "You don't need that," and I'm like, "Shh, I know, dang it. Okay, all right already," But you always know right from wrong. We always do, you know. Mm. So like I was telling like about what I have found with the satanic is they do have an odor of death, and it does actually permeate you or me. It becomes a physical thing on us by association, unfortunately, and this is true. What I'm telling you, I've tried to escape it all my life, so I really do know what I'm talking about. It's not a joke. There's people, they try and comb my hair with their combs or put their hats on my head or just weird shit because they're being directed by a dark force and I see it coming at me. These are my instincts. It's like I don't need solid proof. When I feel something about a person, I don't need any proof. Not anymore. I used to test that within myself. I have no doubts anymore. I don't even question it. I go with what I feel, and it's never failed me. Not once. Not once in my adult life have I encountered another human being and made a judgment call on their whether or not I want them in my close proximity, whether it's emotionally or physically, you know, and I've never been wrong. So I'm gonna stick with that. That's my instincts are sound, and it's just like with all this nonsense with the leftist regime and whatever. Um, I'm standing with what I know is true and sound, and that is going to help the righteous people on this planet, not the ones that do not care. I'm not into helping my enemy. No. I mean, I'll help them as far as I'll share a video on gut healing and mental health, but they have to be the ones that ingest the right things. I can't force them to like take a drink of water when they're having a soda or whatever. I can't force these people to do that. All I can do is put the water before them and show them how strong I am and sound of mind and good in my heart and be an example like that. But no, I can't force it on them. But I'm certainly not going to deny my instincts for anybody. So, like, once again, if you're coddling a demon and you're trying to protect it from me, good luck with that, you know? Seriously so. Yeah. I don't know what else you could do besides try and counsel a demon, but if that's your thing, hey, have at it. I'd rather insult one because I get further. At least you get a reaction out of it, you know, whatever, you know. No, I'm not. I mean, I'll be personable and pleasant up until a point, you know. But when I sense somebody else is inflicting pain on me or my loved ones, I don't care if you protect them. They're still on that list that they need their shit jacked in an emotional sense. So, nah, I'm not babying it. No way. Mm-mm. No. There was something more I wanted to say about that, but I just can't seem to gather it right now. I think it could be my allergies, like this. My eyes are itchy. They were running like yesterday and the day before. Just, I don't know. Could be a lot of the smoke that's been in our air to irritate them. Might not just be like hay fever or whatever, but yeah. I'm still trying to think of what else I was thinking on that. Uh, Emotional validation. I wouldn't hold my breath, you know? You can't get emotion out of somebody that's totally carnal. All we can do is wait and see if Christ goes in their hearts. But quite frankly, for me personally, I'm sick of getting on my knees for the whole world. I'm not doing that. That makes me look like a big sucker, and I'm not doing that. So, Yeah, won't do it. So yeah, I mean, I feel bad for anybody that's suffering and that type of, you know, there was something, say, like if you fell in love, there was something about that person that you loved. Did that just go away? You know, did they take it away? See, that's a narcissistic tactic. They're going to show you, they'll test you and see the types of things you like and what you don't like, and they'll play on their best behavior for that. And then, as soon as they get you, they act like they don't want what they got. But then they'll just give you a little bit in about a week. About a week later, they'll give you a little bit more. And that could go on indefinitely, you know. That's what I guard myself from. I don't, I'll never buy the the bullshit anymore. I just won't because I know better. Once I'm done dirty, I might overlook it a little bit, you know, and we can do that. I mean, we can give people chances for any mistakes, but after a while, it's not a mistake. This is a plan to keep you roped in and keep you desiring something that's not attainable. It's unattainium, it's a new metal. You just can't get it because it doesn't exist. It was a facade, it's fake. You can't get blood out of a turnip. You just can't, you know. So maybe you're just like me in a partnership, not really even friends, but making things go around, and it is difficult because it was never normal to begin with. The difficulty's still there. It's just we call it something else now, you know? That's what's going on in my life. And there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. But when I see it happening to somebody else, I can point it out. I could say, yeah, use your instincts because that's what they're there for, you know? And having compassion for people, yeah. That's all well and good until you realize that they're actually trying to kill your heart. Then, after a while, somebody's got to stand up and say, you know what? These are hearts, real hearts of actual people that are being damaged. This is not only attempted murder from a cult of dark satanic things, Satan's very own. It's beyond attempted murder. It's microdoses of murder on a constant, on a daily basis. The barrage of one thing right after another, no matter what. That's not attempted murder. That is murder in progress. And that's exactly what's happening to us ones with good hearts. I know it. You know it. It's true. And yeah, we can distance ourselves from whole families of people. And it does make it a little easier. At least for me, it did, you know. But they're out there. They're out there regardless if they belong to me or somebody else, you know. I can see other people going through these things. I can see by the look on their faces or by the words they speak how they were raised and what happened to them, you know? So, whether they say it or not. So, don't deny your instincts. I know that's been said time and time again, but on every little level. It's like, okay, you just know like your brother or your sister is going to say something stupid to you. You just know it. You sense it. So you've already mentally prepared yourself for that. Still doesn't take the pain away that they want to do that, or that they did do that, or they are going to do that. It just mentally prepares you for the onslaught, you know? And that's all we can really do, is really understand the psychosis behind it, but also the spiritual, whether you think that they are responsible for their actions and whether you think that their actions affect, say, like a woman across the world does something to her husband, how could that possibly affect me? Because all our molecules are connected, and that's how we can feel each other. So, yeah, it does affect the next person, no matter what we do. And this is a fact, and I can't prove that, but that will come into fruition. I'm sure that science will be able to prove that, not in the backward state it's going right now, but from actual professionals that deal on the micro level and understand not only microbiology within human beings, but the emotional psyche and the spiritualness behind the whole thing, the trifecta that I'm always talking about, that is the Trinity, with Satan being the more carnal, like the child in the situation, and the mother being more spiritual, and the father being more tangible. Like we have our material things, our air and our water and food and all the things that our Father, the great provider, provides for us. And then you have the female qualities of nurturing and just being able to sense with my instincts who needs what at what time, and who needs what to eat and what to say, and all these type of things that the mother has. That's your spiritual qualities. And then you have that satanic that takes both the spiritual and the physical from the mother and father and tries to twist those two to his will. And that's what we really basically have going on here. And his marriage in the world, acting through everybody that we encounter, you know. So really, it's a choice of two masters, depending, you know. So it's really what's acceptable, you know. And I'll just put it very, very bluntly. Do you or do you not think that anybody in your life personally, with the help of Satan, has harmed you or your children or your pets? And right there, end of sentence, yes or no question. Instincts, right there. That's a yes or a no, because my instincts are on high alert, and I won't buy any bullshit out of nobody for no reason. So if you have hope that some kind of demonic entity in a human body is going to be saved by grace, you're wrong. I'm just telling you, you're wrong. It's not going to happen. Right up until the very end, Mr. and Mrs. Satan will not give in. And that is why there is a place I refer to as the true pit, a cave, an enclosed prison for these people that will not conduct themselves on a human level. It's simple as that. And I know who they are when I see them. So I don't need to cry for myself because somebody would rather wipe the tears from a demon. But, so I'm on my own. It's lonely, but I'm not going to back down because I have people that depend on me to be as strong as I am and as wise as I am. So I'm not going to not give him my crown over. I was joking the other day when I said, "Here, you can have it. Now you're a true queen." Remember when I said that? No, that actually was just a joke. I would never give my crown to anybody. I would lay it at the feet of the Father. Here you go, God. I don't need this. It's all glory to you. You know, that's where that is from me. Now, if somebody else feels different about their spirituality, and there can be reasons why you do, I can understand that. I don't have a problem with that as long as you know you didn't make yourself and that Satan didn't make you and that you have a creator and it wasn't you. I'm cool with that. You'll grow. You don't have to be religious to know that you didn't make yourself or the trees or the air or the food. None of it. None of us did. Well, maybe if God's watching me, hi, thank you for everything. Not everybody, but everything. You know, I'm just being honest. That's what I do with God. I kind of like I have this tendency to tell the truth, even to my father. Yeah, because he knows me. Yeah, yeah, he made me. Yes, he made them too. But that's not who he made them to be. You know, that's the persona they've taken on out of selfishness and greed, and that's who they are. And that's why they can't function, you know? And it is going to take a giant cleansing. I'm not capable of it, you know? Like Dr. Phil would say, that's out of my league. I mean, I can't do any more with that. That's, physically, I can set a bone. I can stitch you up. I could probably take a bullet out. I wouldn't be too pleased, but I could handle it. Um, I can do all cut. I can counsel your heart. I can take care of your dog, or your horse or whatever. But there's just certain things that are beyond my pay grade, and one of them would be um, making the fallen. Okay, how do I word this? Making the fallen love the Father again. I cannot personally. I can't do that. Now, maybe with the Spirit of Christ through me, I could touch somebody's heart, but I am not personally capable of raising a demon out of hell. Now, maybe you are, but that's beyond my qualifications. So, I've tried. I really have. I've tried everything on this planet except for out and out violence. but I've tried just about everything else, you know? And they would love it if I got down there for them. Whoa. Well, maybe not. Yeah, I'm sure that that would not be pleasant for either one of us. But yeah, they've tried to get me there, that's for sure. All kinds of ways, crazy ways. Ever walked in a place and you could just sense that there was something in there orchestrating, like a whole group started getting angry for no reason, and you didn't even say a word, they don't even know you, but you walked into this place and all of a sudden there's this demonic sense that the whole room wants to kill you. Have you ever felt that? I have, a lot. Well, what is it about me that irritates their demons, you know? Yeah. So if you have a demon in your life, you might want to have them listen to gut healing and where mental illness originates from. That'll give them some insight that we truly are souls inside of who we are. And if it truly is just a mental illness that's hindering them or pressure on their brain, inflammation, whatever the case may be, physically, maybe they can be helped where the physical is the mental type of thing. Um, but if it's just mental and it's a spiritual thing and that's truly who they are, no amount of detox is going to fucking help it. That's who they are. That's who they've chosen to be. And trust me when I tell you my instincts are spot on who Mr. and Mrs. Satan is, I'm telling you that's what it is. And I won't even entertain any form of, um, what's the word? No forgiveness, no mercy, pity. That's all they're getting out of me. That's it. Nothing else. I won't give them a helping hand. I'll find other people to give them helping hands. I'll show them which way to go, or I'll show them which way to go, either way. But yeah, I'll show them the way. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm not grabbing them by their fucking hands anymore. I've gotten bitten. So, no. Be smart not to put your hand in the cage of a rabid rat, you know? So, it might look cute on the outside, but it still is what it is on the inside, you know? So, yeah. So, if that's your thing, that's your thing, you know? Keep trying, you know? That's all right. I think I was about 50 when I finally said, you know, I'm done doing this. I'm not trying to raise people from the dead anymore. They're loving this shit and they're enjoying the hell out of killing me along the way. So guess what? I'm not playing along anymore. I'm not like my children see me cower like some spineless, love crazed piece of out here. Not even close. You know? No. So yeah. I'm not gonna love and lust after something that, well, even lust is nasty. I'm not even gonna desire something that isn't worthy of that attention. It's just, it's not. Not even my friend. It's just not. I want good friends. I'm at the point in my life that the only thing I want is quality human beings that can understand the difference between good and evil within people, and can separate the two in a healthy way. And if you're still out there evangelizing for Christ, if that's your thing, trying to pull people out of the depths of hell, I'm saying they're either hanging on the sides where Christ put them, God put them there, or they're down in there, and you'd be a fool to go get them, because that's already been done once, and that's the only time it's going to be done. And I personally know what I'm talking about. That's the only time it was ever done, and the only time it's going to be done, and that was for Christ himself to rise, not everybody else. And not everybody else is worthy. So I'm not going to pretend that the unworthy are worthy anymore. That's what I'm talking about. And I believe that we're in the times where if you want to keep trying, but you're talking to empty vessels, or fully demonic ones, or ones filled with the Christ Spirit, and that's where we stand now on our planet, and that's my sense. So, no, I'm not playing their games anymore. Well, I might be back. I think that we're going to have a big bunch of noise in a little bit here, so I'll have to see how this goes, and maybe I'll think of something else that was on my mind. But that was just about it. I was just going to tell you, I'm standing firm on my instincts, no matter who desires what. I desire my first estate, and the hell with this world. Not totally go to hell to the world, but to leave them to their own devices, because they're so fucking intelligent. Let them go. Let them develop into who they truly want to be. Wish them the best. That's what I'm doing. It's like, hey, you have other aspirations besides making sure that we're good friends on that level, and you aspire outside of that. Hey, go for it. I wish you the best, you know? I hope you find people just on that same level, because you're all deserving on that same level, and I don't have a problem with that. So I'm not prejudiced in any extreme towards anybody's thoughts, unless you're a pedophile. Then I don't care what you think, and you need your head caved in. So I don't care beyond that. For them, I really don't. And if you have uh, parents or children or people in your life that are uh, mismanaging, I call it sexual misplacement, misplaced sexuality from anybody, out of your father, mother, brother, sister, brother-in-law, whoever, friends. That stuff's misplaced. Shuck it. Get rid of it. That's my opinion. Unless you're into dealing with that suffrage that Christ already did for us. If you truly believe that we have to evangelize who God is calling anyway, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, everybody, I appreciate you joining me. Have a really beautiful day. I think this will probably be it, but maybe not. I might be back. Not sure. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at.